In my feet, that's right, in my shoes, I have got some absolute magic that can stop you doing shots like that. Now, to be honest with you, I was trying to demonstrate a slice rather than a shank, but I've got some unbelievable technology right here within my shoes that are going to help you understand what makes you slice the golf ball and how you can prevent it. I am using the Ballon Smart insoles within my shoe, so I am actually able to see in real time exactly where my weight distribution and my pressure is going throughout the golf swing. So what I've just done there is I have filmed 3 swings so the app can analyze exactly what I was doing during the swing. Now what we're able to see is that at setup, the majority of my pressure is in towards my heel. I'm a little bit more weight distributed into my left side, so 66% is my left side at setup. But what you're going to see is as the takeaway starts to occur, you'll see the line in between my feet moving up towards my toes. That's my pressure moving upwards, and you start to see the heat map as well moving up towards my toes. As I start to move into the top of the backswing, all of my pressure, 80% of my body weight, and the pressure is in towards the toes on my front foot. Okay, so I'm in a position now, what it does, it prevents you from being able to rotate fully into the golf swing. Often when your body can't rotate anymore, your arms continue to lift, so they get really, really high as you move up to the top of the backswing. For those golfers that then swing it out to in, you've not really got any other way to go. If your body weight is forwards into your toes and your arms have gone up, there is no way of being able to get the club more on the inside and then suddenly being able to bring your body weight back to center in your feet. So as we start the transition, you'll notice that the right foot now starts to have a little bit more pressure applied, but on both feet, the heat map is right in the tops of the feet. So we are right towards the toes on both feet. Again, it's giving me very limited flexibility in terms of my rotation towards the target. So any golfer that feels like they don't have the rotation and the flexibility to open the hips up through impact, whether you may not, but also your body weight may be too much towards your toes. Then as we start to move into impact, you see that yes, my weight is on my left side, which is great and which is where we want it to be, but my weight is all in towards my heel, my toes. As we then start moving more and more into the follow-through position, the weight starts to fall back onto this trail leg so I can open up my lower body for the rotation. All the way throughout that golf swing, the club is working on an out to in swing path, which will give me a slice or a fade. So what I've got to try and do is balance myself better to encourage more rotation, to encourage more power through the golf ball, but more importantly, to encourage the upper body to rotate better as well. If I can't rotate my lower body because of where my weight is, there's no chance of being able to rotate my upper body and put the club into that position. This is a problem I see with a lot of amateur golfers. They get way too much on the toes, and also you would have noticed then as I was hitting a couple of shots, I was hitting and then I was stepping towards where the golf ball was. That is a really, really key element to this, because I see that a lot. I see a lot of players hit the shot and then step towards where the golf ball was. If that's you, then this video is 100% for you, because your weight is definitely far too much towards the toes. What the Ballon Smart insoles are going to be able to give us in practice now is some real-time feedback. Sometimes it's very difficult to understand exactly where your body weight is during the swing, but you're going to be able to get some real-time feedback by looking at your device as you're making the swing to get the same feeling. And what you're going to be able to do then is figure out exactly where your upper body is in relation to your lower body when your weight has changed throughout the swing. So we're going to go into a bit of a practice mode now through the app, and we're going to change the weight distribution, get the feedback from the app, and then try and figure out how that feels so we can start to learn to repeat it. From what we just saw on the video, my body weight started to move towards my toes as soon as the golf club left the ball. So what I'm going to be able to do now is do some real-time practice. So if I take my setup, I'm looking down at the app, I'm looking at the numbers, and I'm actually able to see that my weight is now on my heels. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to lift my toes up in my shoes. So I put all of my weight into my heels. So I can see the heat map now is really red on the heels. My body weight is 50-50, okay? So what I'm going to try and do, I'm going to push this into my left side. So a little bit more weight down my left side. So I've gone 55% on my left side. And I'm going to try and feel the weight staying in my heels as I start to bring the club back to halfway, okay? Then I'm going to hit a couple of shots. So I'm going to actually watch the feedback from the real-time numbers. So into takeaway, weight still on my heels, and I'm going to just bring myself back through again. And what I'll see here again is my toes up off the ground. And a really good one, what I was trying to do with a lot of my students, is actually lift the toes up in my shoes, really get the weight into the heels, pull the club back to around about rib cage, and straight away then I felt myself moving forward. So try that again, lift the toes up, halfway back, weight still in the heels, and then rotate through. And you see now, even as an exaggeration, I'm falling away from the position I was in before. Right, once you've done a few of those, getting the weight back towards your heels at rib cage height, toes up in the air, I'm going to start swinging it a bit further now. I'm going to try and keep the weight further back into my heels again, and try and get that same sort of feeling, really feeling like I'm keeping my weight into my heels. One of the things that can help you with this, and a lot of golfers that I've seen in the past in terms of posture, start to get too upright. So I want you to try and feel that your hips and your backside are outside of your heels. So this encourages you to sit down a little bit more. It encourages you to tilt a little bit more from the hips, and you get that little bit of knee flex. It's going to help you keep the weight back into your feet a little bit more than what you would have been doing at the start. So we're going to lift the toes up in the shoes, sit the posture back, feel like the golf swing is more rounded as the weight stays on the heels. As a result, this lead arm will stick on that chest a little bit longer. And we might start to see a different shot shape. Those up, posture. As we were mentioning at the start of the video, we were talking about the upper body sequencing. So if the lower body starts to move in towards the toes, you get stuck. This encouraged your arms to start to work up higher, which then encouraged you to be a lot steeper and more out to in. With the improvement in posture, so the lower body's pushing further back and you're creating a little bit more of an angle in here and a little bit more into the knees. Once you've pulled your toes up into your shoes and created that better lower body rotation, straight away you'll be able to get more rotation as well, which is really important to note. You're going to be able to get a lot more turn from when your weight's in your heels as opposed to when the weight is in your toes, okay? So once you've got more rotation, you've then got to start to try and think that this bicep, what's there of it, stays very, very close to your chest. So as you're doing so, you get that rotation. And I want you to feel like you're swinging it shorter than you've ever swung it before. The reality is what you're going to be doing is you're going to be using your body's rotation more as opposed to the lifting of your arms. And that's the key to this. You're going to have a lot more rotation from the body weight is going to be more central, and you're going to find it so much easier to get that centered strike. So once you've got the right posture, this is purely a drill. We're not trying to keep the weight into your heels for the whole golf swing on every single shot. This is a drill to pull you back away from your toes. Ideally, we get you on the balls of the feet, so kind of just in behind the toes and obviously right in the center of your feet. Then as you start to move up to the top of the backswing, you've got more connectivity with your arms and your chest and your rotation. As a result of more rotation and more connectivity, your angles are going to start to work better together. And then you're able to get much better ball striking, much more consistent ball striking. You may even throw a few draws in there because you've got a bit more of a more neutral, maybe into out swing path. And you'll just be so much better in consistency with your ball striking. Guys, if you're interested in the product, head over to Ballon. The link is in the description below. It's an incredible piece of kit. That's why I'm bringing it to your TV screens today. If you're new to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button. Also, if you think this video is going to help any of your friends, please make sure you do share it to them as well. But from a nice sunny Dubai, I will see you next time.